everyone, my name is BlackWitchDirah. I am a Luciferian witch of the left hand path as well as an occult educator. Thank you for those returning to my channel and welcome to those who are new here. I'm very happy to have you here. On this channel I discuss a variety of different occult topics. I upload every Saturday at 8 PM UK time, so if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, as an occult educator, I have various learning programs that are available for enrollment, including courses on working with Santa Mote. I have a new course on baneful magic now, and in the making I have a new demonology course that I'm working on at Witch Skills, which is going to be an online occult school. So to stay updated with that, you can subscribe to the mailing list. I also have a learning program called Initiation into Life and Death, which is all about the Tree of Life and the Clip-Off. It's more mentorship based rather than a course where there's a curriculum. This is more mentorship based and meeting people where they're at and helping them to initiate through that system. So all the links to those are in the description, so please go and check those out. Into today's video. So last week I covered things for people to consider before they kind of delve into occultism. So, you know, things that people who are interested in the occult need to think about. This week I'm going to cover basically just give my advice to people who are already into this stuff, witchcraft, occultism, and maybe at the beginning of their journey. So from my experience, one of the main things people seem to struggle with is this fear of fucking up, this fear of making mistakes, and this strive for perfectionism. And I think anyone that wants to be good at something has this, whether that's, you know, something mundane or whether it's something a bit out there like this. You know, we want to be good at things, and I feel like with occultism, especially on the left-hand path, everyone wants to be the best fucking magician. Everyone wants to be Lucifer's best mate. You know, everyone's just power hungry, you know, and you know, everyone wants to be seen as powerful and really good at what they do. And there's something good about that, in the sense that, you know, there's something admirable about wanting to better the self and wanting to be the best magician you can be. But, you know, there's also the ego attached to that as well, which makes it somewhat unhelpful. So I think that's really common under occultism, left-hand path especially, this desire for perfectionism, this strive for it. And you just need to understand that it's all an illusion and it's not real, and you are going to make mistakes. You know, I've made plenty of fuck ups in my practice, and some have been really horrible. So you kind of just need to accept that that is going to happen, and it's all part of the journey, and that perfectionism, this strive for it, is only going to hold you back, and basically to just let go of it. This is really a case of learning on the job. You know, you're going to learn through your practice. You're going to find out what works and what doesn't, and you might piss off a few entities along the way. Just don't go too far with that. Often, if you don't mean to do it, there's usually a solution to it. You know, if you're not being arrogant or a dick about it, then it's usually okay. A lot of entities are very understanding of our human nature, and there are solutions to things. So yeah, just let go of the perfectionism and allow yourself to be a human being who is learning. My next piece of advice is, do not go too out of your depth. So don't rush yourself. This isn't something that needs to be rushed. It's very difficult to put timings on things in this journey. So say, for example, you have a goal, you want to learn how to astral project in 3 months. It might be possible, but sometimes things just aren't linear, and also, you might find that you have delays and setbacks, and there are things that you need to do before you can master that skill. There are things that you need to take care of before you can master that skill. So don't be jumping too far out of your depth, forcing yourself to do things that you're just not ready to do, because that is going to basically just do the opposite and set you back further, and you're putting yourself at a degree of risk by doing that as well. For example, those that want to plunge straight into demonology, and they come to me and ask for you know, mentorship essentially as to how to do that. I say to them, you know, if you've got any experience, you know, do you have a practice? And they're like, no, I've never done anything before. And I'm just like, well, go away for a year, please, and like, you know, establish something. Learn the basics, learn how to read tarot, learn, you know, how to meditate, learn how to cleanse and protect yourself, learn how to clear your space, learn how to do a banishment. Like, the basic things. You need to have a foundation, otherwise it's not going to be a stable practice. But on the note of rushing things, my next point that I want to make as well is, like, you don't want to rush things, but you also don't want to make too much space for complacency. Like, it's all well and good not rushing things, but you also don't want to be stuck in the same position for a year and not doing anything to, you know, towards your growth. So it's kind of like a balancing act. And it's about consistency, so it is about doing the same thing for a period of time, pretty much every day, or, you know, with some degree of regularity in order to build up a skill. So what you don't want to do, say for example you're learning how to astral project, you don't want to just be doing that like once a week. That's going to be a daily practice for you. That's going to be something you need to consistently work on. And if you're getting complacent, then you're not going to master that skill. You are going to end up working on it for 10 years instead of 1 year, and mastering it in that time instead. And by the way, all of these things that I'm mentioning are all things I've done. I have both rushed myself and been complacent, and also tried to be a perfectionist. So all of this I'm saying from experience. Next thing I want to talk about is books. So everyone wants book recommendations. Books are great. I highly suggest that you read a lot about this stuff, but do not substitute books with genuine practice, because there are different levels of knowledge to be obtained. You've got the knowledge of another person out of a book, and then you've got your first-hand knowledge that you obtain when you practice. And the sort of supreme gnosis that you get out of a practice is more valuable than what can come out of a book, because it's original and it's also a direct delivery of information to you specifically. It's something that you have learned through experience. Yes, it might be somewhat subjective, but you could also argue that what's in a lot of occult books is also subjective. And with regards to books as well, don't let books define your practice. You know, I've read a lot of books that are good, but, you know, there are some points even in books that I love that I just don't agree with, that I don't think are true, or that I haven't found to be true yet. So that's something to bear in mind as well, to take things with a pinch of salt. And my final piece of advice is just be careful on the online witch and occult community, because I feel like, do you know what, there's always been drama. There's always been drama in occultism. Look at the Golden Dawn and you'll see what I mean, you know. There's always been petty bullshit. There's always been, like, you know, this whole kind of like drama stuff that happens on Witch Talk. It's nothing new. It's always gone on. It's always gone on. So it's kind of guaranteed that it's gonna happen. If you are communicating with other occultists, you're going to come across some people that might be friends for life, and you're going to come across people that are going to be assholes. And the difference between coming across arseholes in the mundane world and in this world is that there are people that won't hesitate to use spiritual warfare, and sometimes spiritual warfare can also be unintentional. Like, we can send thought forms around without even fucking meaning to, right? So just be careful with that, because it's going to draw your attention away from your practice, and it's going to occupy a lot of energy that you should be putting into your practice. That stuff isn't important. That you know, those arguments in comment sections that you get into, they're not important. I would recommend that you stay out of anything like that if you can, but at the same time, don't let people walk all over you. Don't let people chat shit. Don't let people you know, like, you know, respond if you need to. If something warrants a response, respond, but don't react. Respond like an adult, and get your defenses up if you need to. So I've been in about 3 kind of notable warfare situations that were, you know, significant, let's say, in the last sort of like 5 years. One from somebody who thought that I had sent something their way when I hadn't. Like, there was, I was so fucking novice at the time, I wouldn't have even known how to do that. She was more advanced than me, so I wouldn't have even tried it, even if I wanted to. I had absolutely no beef with her, but I remember she called me up, and she was basically like threatening to kind of like end my life because she assumed that I had done something, and I was just like, gee, you're batshit. So yeah, she sent some shit my way. There's another who has stalked me online since, yeah, it's been about 5 years now. And she has stalked me online, consistently copied my shit, told me that she's put death curses on me, and yet I am still here and I'm still thriving. So yeah, maybe work on being a better magician. But you know, that shit's just so old that I don't even like pay attention to it anymore. It's just a really weird obsession that she has. So I'm just, you know, it's got to a point where a long time ago I just left her to it, and I was just like, you know what, just do what you want, because it's not working and I just don't care. And then the other one was just like through the end of a friendship, basically, and nothing was like really like bad in that, in terms of like what was being thrown around. It was just like really heavy like astral stuff. So just from the kind of remains of like what was left of it. So those situations couldn't really be helped, but the reality is that like if you are present online and sharing your craft and your practice, especially if you share opinions on things, or that you get traction and attention and things like that, there's gonna be people that don't like you for whatever reason. So you need to be prepared for whatever, really, whether it's backlash against something you said, or you know, people just like sometimes just don't like you for no reason, and you know, they'll do something about it. So you need to have your defenses up, and you need to sort of just be aware that that stuff might happen, and try not to do anything that's gonna make it happen. I'm not saying don't speak your truth, of course speak your truth, but what I'm saying is just note how you react to things and respond to things. Don't make situations worse, and also don't copy them going, oh well, if they're doing that then I'm gonna do it as well. No, be fucking better. Be better. Be the better fucking magician in the situation. So that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you next Saturday.